Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me here to give this presentation. As you can see from this slide, my name is Fatih OZOGUL from Cukurova University, Turkey, where I am head of the seafood processing technology and also director of Biotechnology Research and Application Center. Now, what I would like to talk about is, you can see on the slide that the probiotics. So how can we feed the people, because the population is always increasing. So how can we feed this population? So let's turn back to the nature and find out that the bacteria, macroorganism, okay. So this is the topic that now I am going to talk about, and this you can see in this the slides that this is the hot topic. This topic, hot topic, is really is growing interest among the researchers all over the world, and also the other things is that can we use probiotics instead of the antibiotics? Okay. Now, before introducing or before giving the speech about the probiotics, we need to understand the functional foods. Okay, the functional foods. So this is the powerful word. Why is important, the functional foods? Because it has the health benefits for the human health, and also significant health properties. This is because of the major source of the essential nutrients. Essential nutrients and can be used as a food supplement. Of course, this functional foods is typically the important nutrients, including vitamins, minerals, healthy fats, and fibers. Okay, then how we can categorize the functional food? You can see that the functional food is the natural, modified, supplemented, enriched product and improved product. We focus on this functional food for the enriched product. For example, probiotics. Okay, and you can see this in this slide. The functional food categories is the plant-based and animal-based product. Okay, so you can see that the plant-based, the functional foods, vegetables, nuts, okay, fruits, but there are some bioactive component inside of this. The functional foods. For example, lycopene, it is found in the tomatoes, okay. The ascorbic acid is found in some fruits. So the PUFA, it's found in the seafoods. But the functional foods, as I said before, has important health benefits, okay. So decrease for example, antioxidative stress, decrease the inflammation, and decrease the protein aggregation. Of course, out of these the properties, it has some the anti-cancer effect, the cardioprotective effect, antibiotic properties. These are the plant-based functional food. When we look at the animal base, so we need to talk about the probiotics. But before probiotic, we need to know the prebiotics. Okay, prebiotics is the food of the probiotics. Okay, now I'm going to explain all of them. As an animal-based functional food, the fish has omega-3 fatty acids. They are, this is the example, okay? So they have the very good the functional food health benefit effects, okay? Like cardiovascular disease, it can prevent the cardiovascular disease, Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease. When I say the Parkinson's disease, yesterday when I'm coming back to Istanbul to the Algeria, next to there was the the young Algerian guy. He has a Parkinson's disease. Okay, this is a young man. Behind next to me. There was a Turkish man who is helping him his body is shaking. Every 4 hours he needs to take some medicine. But if you get some the functional foods, okay, like the animal and vegetable based foods, so maybe we can prevent this kind of disease, okay. What a pity, I saw this man. He's the young. He's about, I think, he's the 30 years old, something, maybe less than 30 years old. Okay, now also we need to know these trends of the functional foods in the market. Okay, you can see that the dairy product, because now what I am going to talk about the probiotics is the part of the dairy products. So the part of the dairy products is the probiotics. Okay, then we will talk about the postbiotics. See the market grow. The 8.5%. You can see this is from 2022 to 2032 is the double the functional foods market will be, and it will be good deterrent as the money. So it's really the billion. I mean, when you look at 678 billion, so it is very important for market as well. Now, as I said before, we have to get back to the nature. Okay, so we have to, because the bacteria is the microorganism, is the engineer of the natures. Okay, in the fermentation process. So this. Maybe you have heard the terms the lactic acid bacteria. Not every lactic acid bacteria has the probiotic properties, but most of the lactic acid bacteria has probiotic function. So the growing interest about the functional foods rise every year because the people need these functional foods. Macroorganism, specifically probiotics now replace some functional foods, especially some animal-based functional foods. Now, in this slide, we need to know about these terms. Okay, the probiotics. What is the probiotics? What are the postbiotics, and what is the prebiotics? Okay, so you can see that the probiotics in this slide. The probiotics is the live macroorganism. Okay, when the adequate amount is taken, it's provide the health benefits. It's provide it's good for our the gut systems. Oh, but when we look at the postbiotics, this is not the live, okay? This is not live. This is the actually end product, byproduct of the probiotics, okay? But what is the prebiotics? Prebiotics is the food of probiotics. So term is maybe the confusing, but we need to know these terms to understand what I am talking about. For example, prebiotics, we can give the fiber, okay, the fiber. For example, garlic, okay. We can use the fiber or garlic for the probiotics to produce some metabolites, okay. So that's why the question, okay, I will explain later this. The postbiotics or the probiotics. Which one is we can the prefer? I will talk about later. Here is this slide shows the definition of developments of the probiotic prebiotics. You can see that this is just the first mention about the probiotics is 1907. Okay. The probiotics is about its mention is 1995, early 2000. But postbiotics is recently international scientific association association for probiotic and prebiotics. It's just recently is mentioned and this defined. So from 19 is the almost 100 more than 100 years to come this update. Development of the probiotics and prebiotic and postbiotics. But to understand, the probiotics, we need to know, this slide is very well, okay. The biogenic, okay. The biogenics is then how we can classify the biogenic amines. You can see this slide for in the symbiotics. In symbiotics, we can see that the probiotics, okay, prebiotics and probiotics, because on this slide, on the half of slide, you can see the probiotics in the prebiotic side and also the postbiotic sides. So traditional probiotics, it can be found in the yogurt, in the in the wine, in the kefir, for example. But the probiotic that can be in the other side, like next generation of the probiotics, for example, live biotherapeutic products. Okay, so this is we called pharmabiotics. This pharmabiotics is also the include the postbiotics and parabiotics. When you look at this slide, okay, this non-digestible. The probiotics non-digestible to the the live macroorganism probiotics and the non-viable bacteria macroorganism. These are the see the differences between the prebiotic and postbiotic. Okay, now still we are talking on the the probiotics. Okay. As I said before, probiotic has really the support the health of the gut microbiota, and this is good to prevent some the gastrointestinal disease. For example, also the other disease like obesity, type 2, the diabetes, osteoporosis, or the other diseases. But here is we must be very careful because probiotics, can be found in the food is naturally, okay. That must be non-pathogenic, okay. Because some pathogens, we have done many researches about this. Some pathogens produce the toxic component, so we can eliminate using the probiotics because probiotic live macroorganism, okay. So live macroorganism can compete with the other macroorganism that can be found in the food. So that's why, I mean, it helped our gut and it helped our health. Now, this paper is the published 2023 is one of the hot topic, hot papers. Although it's published in 2023, really it is the hot paper, and according to the Web of Science, it has many citations. So, I mean, we can understand that how this subject is very important. Okay, so you can see that in this paper, although it's published in the Frontiers in Macrobiology. If you need to get more information about this, the mode of the probiotics, mode of action of the probiotic, you can see it on these papers. Okay, then it is really good paper. I suggest that you should read these papers. So there are some research on the probiotics. Okay, strains. Really, you can see that there are. You can see it on the slide, reported lactic acid bacteria strains, different, the type of the foods, okay, like yogurt, cheese, the butter and milk. So there are some strain, that lactic acid bacteria strain that, we use as a probiotic strain. But also we have the challenge, okay? So from one hand, we try to solve the problem. Also, we have some the challenges that we face. Okay, so you can see that for the probiotics. Okay, also I am going to giving the information about the postbiotic as well. Okay, so what is the factor that affect the life cycle of the probiotics? Okay, is the first things, the probiotics is the live microorganism that is sensitive to the oxygen, okay, sensitive to the acids and moisture. On these all affect the shelf life of the foods, okay, and the other the factor that affecting the life cycle of the probiotics is the it cannot tolerate the gastric acids, and also the bile and pancreation. So the bacteria has to be survive in the very acidic environment. And also antibiotic interaction. This is very important, the part of my presentation. Antibiotic interaction. So we don't advise the concomitant use to the probiotics and antibiotics, because there are some the side effects. Okay, so we should be careful when we take this antibiotic. We should not use pills for the probiotics. So what are the challenges for this? You can see that the dose of these probiotics is important. 1 million to 1 million to the 10 billion coloniformic unit, okay, has to be considered as a dose, okay. And also effectivity. Of course, the effectivities depend on the specific strain. Okay, it can be changed strain to strain, but is the half-life can be affected by this optional duration of the therapy, and of course safety concern, the other challenge of the probiotics. Generally safe, okay. Using this probiotic is generally safe, but we have to use the caution with the children, okay. With the children, and maybe the children, it could some side effects like abdominal cramps, nausea, and testosterone. Okay, now we have the given information on the probiotics. Now we move to the postbiotics. Okay, as I said before, the postbiotics is the end or byproduct, okay, metabolites of the probiotics, okay, metabolites of the lactic acid bacteria, in other definition. So what kind of, the metabolite the probiotics can produce, and we call postbiotic? You can see that, the organic acids, peptides, and some enzymes, some short chain fatty acids, and like bacteriocin, we can give it, the bacteriocin as example, nisin, for example. And also, in this slide, okay, this how the postbiotics, our intestinal barrier, how this immune system, the works, okay. So this substance, enzymes, peptides, polysaccharide, like organic acid, short chain fatty acids, this can be good for the the gut the barrier, okay. So but for the probiotics is not like that, okay. For the probiotic is the live microorganism, so this has some disadvantages about the intestinal barrier. Here is another paper we published in Food Bioscience, where I am the editor of this journal. I have been editor for this journal more than 10 years. But when we look at these papers, is actually review articles. We we summarized this bioactive preservative of the lactic acid bacteria, the mode of action. Okay, it's also really good papers that you can get the more information in this. The important is that this lactic acid bacteria, which mean that is the probiotics can produce some metabolites. Okay, this slide is show the metabolites like organic acids, antimicrobial peptides, antifungal components, and the others. And you can see that, for example, as an example, the antimicrobial peptides, bacteriocin, okay, is as I said before, the nisins, okay. So the mode of action, for example, when we look at, the mode of action for the nisin, the membrane permeabilization through the formation of the pore and ion changes, with or without the specific cell receptors. And also, the first one, organic acids. The lactic acid bacteria produce the lactic acid, acetic acid, propionic acid, okay, the others, propionate. So this is the mode of action when we look at the changes in the intercellular pH and effect on the enzyme activity and membrane permeability and leakage of the cell metabolites. Okay. Just I will pass this slides quickly. The probiotics, the health benefit is the enhanced the gut health. It has the anti-inflammatory properties and support our immune system, and also antimicrobial effects. Now, this slide shows that our research, okay, not only the probiotics but also the pathogen produces some toxic component, okay, like the biogenic amines. Here in this slide, this is one of my PhD student thesis. I think not MSc student thesis. See here. We tested, the 25% and 50% of the cell-free solution we obtained from the lactic acid bacteria that has the probiotic properties. Okay, you can see that, they decrease the toxic components like, the histamine and tyramine biogenic amines. The other disadvantages of the probiotics that they are beneficial microorganisms, but on the other hand, they have the the potential producing the toxic component That's why we tested this. I mean, we tested, you know, in different, for example, in this is the Salmonella paratifi. We tested E. coli, we tested Listeria monocytogenes, okay? We tested the other pathogens. And also we tested for the food spoilage bacteria. And also in this slide, we have also we have done some research also in this slide. You can Küley et al. She was my PhD student. Now she is a professor now. Also there are the other, you know, the OZOGUL 2015 and 2011. So also you can see that, you know, the elimination or decrease of the, you know, the biogenetic production. The green circle shows that, you know, the inhibition effects, but also there is some stimulation effect in the, you know, the red lights. Okay. Okay. Also, you can see that, you know, that these postbiotic producing organism and their application. You can see that, you know, in different the postbiotic macroorganism, they produce the different components, and they have the different applications. And again here, this example of the postbiotics is the metabolite of the probiotics, nisin, okay? The food, we can find the nisin in dairy product or processed product and soup and sauces. And benefits, it's act as a preservatives. Okay. And also, the postbiotic has immunomodulation effects, okay? So it's strengthen our immunity, okay? So you can see that, you know, the citrate of the lactic acid bacteria or the probiotic citrates has some, you know, for example, anti-inflammatory effects, okay? Or you can see some, for example, Lactobacillus plantarum has some, you know, the anti-inflammatory effects again. Now, I have talked about, you know, the metabolites, okay? Now, where did these metabolites come from? You know, you can see that these metabolites from the, you know, the microbial metabolites, okay, like short chain fatty acid, like conjugated linolenic acid, and the other source of this components, microbial cell components, okay. Also, we can say that, you know, the exopolysaccharides surface layer protein, and this probiotics also the other metabolites come from the inanimate, the dead macroorganism, okay, like inactivated lactobacillus bifidobacterium, because the important, you know, the important lactic acid and the probiotics is the lactobacillus bifidobacterium and Akkermansia and Streptococcus. Streptococcus, we use these for the breads, okay, for bread makings. And also lysates, okay, microbial lysates also is important, you know, their components, okay. So all these have, you know, the health benefit effects for the human. Now, we need to compare the probiotics and postbiotics, okay. This slide is important. So to understand this presentation, you know, the mentality, okay. Now, when you look at the definition, as I mentioned before, I will repeat it again to understand, you know, these terms, okay. So the definition of the probiotics is the live macroorganism, okay, live macroorganism. But the postbiotics, not the live macroorganism. This is the end product of the probiotics, okay. So the good thing is that when you look at the definition, when taken in the adequate amount, it has very good health benefits. I'm talking about the probiotics definition. And source, when you look at the probiotic source, it can be, you know, the bacteria and yeast, okay, and like fermented product, yogurt, kefir, you know, the foods. But when we look at the postbiotics, typically metabolic byproduct from the product bacteria, and this it cannot, the shelf life is longer than the probiotics, okay? We don't need to worry about the metabolite and metabolite of the, the probiotics for the postbiotics. The function, when we look at the function, the probiotics colonize the gut, enhance its microbial balance, okay? So, but the postbiotics may not directly affect the microbiota composition because they are not live, okay? They are inanimate, the cell, but has the, the beneficial effects on the host health. Stability. I mean, we have this stability problem for probiotics, but we don't have the problem for the postbiotics. Safety can cause some problem for the, the children, for example, okay? Or some pregnant woman maybe. And also, the postbiotic is generally safe. We don't have the problem. Because they are not, the alive macroorganism. As an example, yogurt, kefir, fermented food, certain supplement we can, say as a probiotics. But the postbiotic, short fatty acids, okay, like butyrate, certain bacterial cells. That's why we work on the cell-free solution or cell-free supernatant. Okay, so in cell-free supernatant we have every metabolite. Every metabolite, enzyme, bacteriocin, organic acid, but we need to, to specify our work to separate, for example, bacteriocin and test this bacteriocin for the different foodborne pathogens. This is not very important, we have already talked this. And let's look at, the future of the probiotics and postbiotics in the food industry. You can see that, the market size from 2020 to 2030, it will, rise up, okay? And you can see that, the global market, 14.1%. And also when we look at, the future of the postbiotics, also trend, this is the estimation, okay? This is the estimation. Okay. Also, you can see that this is the trend is rising. That's why researcher. I mean, if we invest something to get back something return, okay. So the functional food, in specifically probiotics is very important. Okay, we can get some, the money. We can invest, we can do some research, we can get some money out of the, the probiotic as a functional foods. Okay, also we have already mentioned this. This is the other important, the slide, okay. At the beginning of my presentation, I said that, the two important things, okay. The other things is the antibiotics. The using the antibiotics is the problem, okay? Now, can we use the probiotics instead of the antibiotic, the usage for human? There are some researchers, okay? But I cannot say yes, we can use. No, I cannot say. But there are some, there are some research that now in the future, maybe specific function of the probiotics can be used as a drug. Okay, so that's why, I mean, for animal and for human, we can use the probiotics. I mean, at least now we have some, we have some advantages to use the probiotics for our health. Okay, but can we use to, instead of the antibiotics? Still, we need to. I mean, we have long way to go to to say this. Okay, we can use it. Also, this you can see that the probiotics. Also, there are some research on probiotics because probiotics affect affect the viability of the probiotics. This is also probiotic affect the postbiotics metabolites. In this slide, how we can, you know, how we can apply the probiotics in a good way, in a delivery system. Okay, you can see that, you know, we have the postbiotics, you know, some advantages. We have some, you know, the good news. But when we use the postbiotic as a postbiotic with the non-particle, you know, properties, we have, you know, the good solution. Okay, we have, for example, there is no evidence when we use, you know, the postbiotics like nanoparticles. Okay, there is no evidence for the transfer of the antibiotic resistance genes, but there are some, you know, there are some evidence when we look at the probiotics. There are some evidence for the transfer of antibiotic resistance genes. Okay, so using, you know, the delivery system for the nanoparticles is the advantages.
Professor Fatih, I'm sorry, I'm here. Sorry to interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt you, but I think, okay, I see that you have exceeded the time, okay, of the
Just finishing, okay? Now, I will, you know, get the conclusion. You can see that, you know, I am already talking about the probiotics have the immunomodulatory effects, and the probiotics show the health benefits through the, you know, the modulation and intestinal microbiome, but still we have some, you know, the technological problem. And the both form, you know, this is the useful, but I can, you know, the postbiotics is better than the probiotics. Okay. Of course, we use the, you know, the biotics to benefit to, you know, for the human health. Okay, so the functionality of these probiotics is good for human health. And lastly, the mechanism of the immunomodulation by the food mechanism is crucial for human, for the future improvement and development of the new generation of the healthy product. You can see that, you know, there are many papers we produce, you know, on these subjects in my laboratory with my group, but also not in my group, also in Europe. Okay, we have some friends, we have some, you know, the researchers, we have some research together, and you can see this in the last slide. I am now just about the finishing. Sorry about, you know, the taking a bit long, but it will take more. It will take more than that, but I try to make it shorter. So, if you want to ask anything, here is my, you know, here is my email address and contact details. We can talk about. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for the organizing committee to Mariam. I mean, she's always writing to me. Thank you very much and inviting me, and also organizing the committee. I thank you. Okay, so I appreciate that. And also last things. I am really happy to be here, and I hope it will be, you know, good conference. Thank you.